Hello, nonfiction and STEM book fans. This is Kirsten Larson, author of Woodwire Wings, Emma Lily and Todd Invents an Airplane, illustrated by Tracy Subasek. And I'm here today with another STEM or nonfiction book review. Today, I am reviewing the latest book by one of my favorite nonfiction authors. Barry Wittenstein has a fictional book called Oscar's American Dream: As America Changed, So Did the Corner Store. This book is illustrated by the husband and wife team of Kristen and Kevin Howdeshell. So this book takes me back to a trip my family made to New York City a couple of years ago. We went to the Tenement Museum, which kind of preserves the history of everyday people. It preserves tenement homes and shops and shows them in different time periods and the families who lived and worked in those buildings. And I love history of everyday people, not just the big figures in American history, but how did everyday people live their lives? That's something that's always been fascinating to me. And that is exactly what Barry Wittenstein captures in this book. So really, this is not the story of a person. This is the story of a corner store, starting with Oscar Nowicki. Arrived at Ellis Island carrying his life in a cardboard suitcase and a skinny roll of money in his coat pocket, a loan from his mother in Poland for a down payment on his American dream. Well, guess what he opens? He opens a barber shop. So Wittenstein traces the store itself through several successful and failed businesses. So Oscar gets married. He trades in his shop and becomes a subway conductor, and somebody else comes in. Two sisters who have a dress business. They're selling clothes in the same location in the 20s, right? And then we get the Great Depression and their business folds. Well, who's going to come next, right? So this story is the story of a business and all the small business owners who run it. It is a fictional story, but it very well could be the story of many of those small businesses I saw at the Tenement Museum. And in the very end, it's a candy shop right before some people come in and try to take it over and build some high-rise apartments. So I think for teachers using this book, well, first for writers, I think this is a really interesting way to tell a story. Instead of focusing on the biography of a person, in a sense, you're focusing on the biography of a building. Rob Sanders has kind of done this in his book Stonewall, about the inn that became the center of the Stonewall riots. But what a cool way to frame a story. And I think for young readers, it's interesting to look at history through the lens of everyday lives. And so even though this is a fictional story, I think it could get them interested in maybe researching some businesses from prior periods, or looking at some different periods of history and how people lived, maybe picking one from this particular book. So anyway, a really cool way of looking at American history. This is Oscar's American Dream by Barry Wittenstein.